Alright, this is Lost Coast. And I'm gonna be trying to do it in one life. 1-0. Lost Coast is, as you can see, that explains it. It's a cut chapter from the original Half-Life, Half-Life 2, if you didn't know, and this is essentially them just releasing it as a standalone game because, from what I know, this level was already developed like nearly fully before they cut it from the game. So eventually they just decided to release it as its own thing, like its own thing you can play. What I'm doing here is a one life challenge. Essentially what that means is if I die, I delete the save and restart. Unless it's to a bug. If it's to a bug, then I don't care. I will keep going. For instance, if I get stuck on something, which is bound to happen because this has never received any updates. Why was it cut? I don't know. Maybe it was already too lengthy. The game, I mean, was already a bit too lengthy. Oh. That'd be my best guess, as they cut it because of that.
Hey! You there? Wait a minute now, aren't you? You are. You're that scientist chap, Friedman, Fishman, am I right? You must be
Yes.
here to take on the Combine.
I am.
Not sure
apparently.
what one man can do, but no other reason to visit St. Olga at a time like this. I'll take you to where they made their base, or as far as I can, at any rate.
Hang on, okay. This is also a proof of concept video. So, if this is at all received, like even if anyone comments, I will do the entire Half-Life series. I mean, I've wanted to, but this just determines whether or not I'll record it. Because it's a lot of effort, and I've already started working on another video. I won't want to talk about it yet. It's very early, and I don't want to reveal. I'm waiting on a new microphone. Sorry about that scratching. I'm waiting on a new microphone, though, until I can start recording that, so I thought I'd just do this quick video. Say I'm still alive. I haven't gone anywhere. But I will do... I don't want to bother with the whole series, though, if it's just... It's not that I don't want to do the challenge, because I do, because I'm mentally insane and I love pain. It's just that I really, really do not want to record and edit it if it's just nobody's going to watch it. Literally nobody. It seems a bit pointless for me to go out of my way to record something and then edit it for hours. Because the video I'm currently editing has already started taking me quite a bit of time, and I've barely even got past the intro.
Here, now, let me just unlock this gate for you.
Interesting fact, this guy is the same voice actor as
Right here.
Bill. What the hell are you doing, Francis?
Get along now, laddie.
That one.
Destroy that gun and no dawdling.
On it. On it, Bill. Sorry, fisherman girl. Hang on, let me try and fix this. I had some other ideas, right? Like... I don't want this. Where are you? I'm gonna fall off if I'm not careful. Oh, you're up there. Excuse me if you see me using some cheap tricks as I go. I don't want to die and restart. Just get used to that fisherman's voice because we're going to be hearing it a lot. Forever. I'm good at this. I'm good at aiming, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna turn the graphics down a little bit. That might help. Shader. Shit! Oh, I'm gonna kill myself at this rate. I'm dead already. Did I mention that I was playing this on the fucking highest difficulty? I have a crossbow. That would have been good to know. Fuck! Well, it's only the first death. I still retain a shred of sanity. As I said, get ready for the fisherman. We're going to be seeing him a lot. Get used to the fisherman. We're going to be seeing him a lot. Sorry, the lag.
Hey, you there?
Hello again!
Wait a minute now, aren't you? You are. You're that scientist chap, Friedman, Fishman. Am I right?
Friedman.
You
that's
must
correct.
be here to take on the Combine.
Yes,
Not
yes.
sure what one man can do, but no other reason to visit St. Olga at a time like this.
By the way, I'm honest. I promise. Every time I die, I will not save scum it and pretend it didn't happen. I will literally. Hang on, I need to be right back. Alright. So if you're wondering why I didn't stop recording for a while there, it's because I'm doing a full VOD as well as the game. The reason why I'm doing a full VOD is, as well as the game is because, well, it makes it harder for me to lie, even though nobody... I hope somebody's watching this video, but the likely case is nobody is. But, as I said, I do YouTube as a hobby. I'm not too offended if nobody watches it.
Here, now, let me just unlock this
But
gate for you.
anyone who is watching this video, if you want to see me do the whole Half-Life series, like back to front, in one life,
Destroy that gun and no dawdling.
as soon as I get a VR headset, I will do it. I am planning to get a VR headset at some point and do VR games as well. You asshole. Those ghosts are... May ask yourself, what's the challenge here? Just get good. Half-Life 2 isn't that hard of a game. And I'm dead again, because I do not have enough health to keep going. Unless... Sorry about the lag, there's nothing I can do. Unlike games like Dark Souls, which... somebody thought, oh, someone's going to want to try and do a challenge where they don't die. Half-Life is a game where you're supposed to save and reload. Half-Life is a game where you're supposed to die a lot. It's the challenge. They don't really consider that people want to do one life challenges of the game. Holy crap, I actually got up the ramp. An important note, quickly, is if I do the full game, I will be doing it in normal, otherwise known as the canonical difficulty. Because if I did the whole game in, let's say, hard, it would be so disastrous. Like, this game's short. You can complete it in 10 to 20 minutes. As long as you're not retarded. But in terms of episode 2, sorry, in terms of the whole series, it's at least a few days long. Black Mesa can take 16 hours to complete if you're not a speedrunner. Half-Life 2 can take 8 hours. Episode 1 takes 2. And episode 2 takes 4 or 5, depending on a few things. Okay, apparently those doors will not open. See, I'm retarded. I haven't played Lost Coast in forever, so I have no clue where to go. Am I supposed to go in here? I thought it was going in the church. Oh, for fuck. Apparently I did everything except click E. This lag is getting annoying. Let me try. I promise I'm not going to cheat. I need to try changing the encoder for the record. Alright, I've changed the encoder. Or more likely I've changed the quality it's encoding too. I'm not sure if that's what I meant to be doing or not. Maybe I can't do anything about that yet. Oh. I haven't done Lost Coast. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. There's like some specific I'm supposed to put in here. God, I hate crabs. I know they hate crabs, I just hate. Is that something I'm supposed to do specifically? Oh. Oh, they're killing each other. Okay, that's okay. Okay then, you're attached to a thread. Sorry if I'm being quiet, I'm just focusing on not dying. I don't think they can make it here. I would not be surprised. That lag though. I don't know a lot about ammo crates, but I do know that they're bulletproof. Apparently this other guy's also a good shot. Ah! No, this isn't funny. I'm actually about to die. No! Dude! Thank fucking God! Second try, baby. Second try. Let's go. Second fucking try, baby. Let's see. What am I supposed to do? Jump below? That was fucking easy. I forgot how fucking short this level is.
You did it, lad. Come on with me to St. Olga. We'll celebrate this victory with a feast. I, hope you like leeches. Hey, where you going? You're getting fuzzy around the edges. Well, I guess you... Nice going, yeah.
I didn't think I would defeat that second try. I thought this video would be longer. I guess that's it then. Oh, we won. I honestly didn't think it'd be that. I forgot that this is incredibly short. As I said, you can complete it in 10-20 minutes. And there's a reason why I'm not completing this doing this in the main run, because it would be because I don't know when it was intended to be. So I can't just quit out of Half-Life 2 and boot up this game where it was intended to be, because I don't know. When was this game? I don't know when this specific chapter was. Let's do developer commentary. And have a look. I mean, I've got time. Whatever.
Hi, this is Gabe Newell, and welcome to The Lost Coast. In this tour, we're going to be talking about a new graphics technology we've been developing called High Dynamic Range, or HDR. We'll also be giving you some insight into the design and production challenges we faced during the construction of The Lost Coast. First, a quick explanation of the commentary system. To listen to a commentary node, put
I know.
With conventional rendering, seen here on the left, if something on the screen is 20% reflective, like the wet sand, then the maximum reflected brightness can only be 20% of the maximum brightness of your monitor. HDR's more accurate simulation of light ensures that the sun's reflection on this wet sand appears as it would in the real world, which can potentially use 100% of the maximum monitor brightness. HDR uses bloom to simulate light that is beyond 100% of a monitor's maximum brightness.
Hang on, let me turn the graphics straight back up. See if I can get that difference a bit better. Is HDR even on in this game?
Conventional rendering, seen here on the left, if something on the screen
Yeah,
is
look.
20% reflective,
It was
like the wet
nicer.
sand,
Full
then the
texture.
maximum reflected brightness
process of building characters in Half-Life 2 taught us many things. By the end, we believed we'd figured out a more effective process for designing and constructing characters. This fisherman is the first character we built using that process. Design-wise, the fisherman was focused on showcasing HDR and the way light falls on human skin. The highlights on his forehead and nose are good examples of specularity on human skin. You can see how the wrinkles on his cheeks and around his eyes are an example of how we can use normal maps to add depth. Production-wise, the fisherman was built using a similar process to the rocks you saw on the beach.
It's basically them
We
jerking
model
off
the
about
3D character
HDR.
at a very high detail, then extract much of the physical information and store it in the textures.
Hey! You there?
When the art started to think about a location that would demonstrate the power of HDR, a beach was one of the first choices we made. The visual relationship between the sky, the water, and the rocks is something we could not achieve without HDR. In order for high dynamic range to correctly simulate the light's interaction with the surfaces around it, like these wet rocks, we needed more precise information about the surfaces than we've had in the past. And now going forward, we're modeling textures in 3D packages to ensure that the physical information encoded in the texture allows HDR to correctly bounce light off the surface. We also designed the colors and values of each surface to ensure they will be correct across all exposure levels.
Yeah, it's just a jerk fest about HDR. That's just the
Water
last one.
presents us with a lot of rendering challenges. In fact, we have to render the scene 3 times. Once for the refraction of what's under the water, once for the reflection of everything above the water, and once from the player's view. You can see the reflection and refraction scenes in the 2 small windows on screen. In the refraction, we calculate per pixel how much water you're looking through to do a volumetric underwater fog to simulate particulate matter. For our full HDR solution, we had to go through the entire engine and modify every bit of code that calculated light and color. For example, these water reflection and refraction renderings had to be improved to support the full range of contrast values.
So glad I learned about that. Is there any more commentary notes, or is that just it? I wanted to hear about Lost Coast, but all I can hear about is HDR. I forgot that this was meant to be a tech demo for HDR as well, or something.
Here, now, let me just unlock this gate for you. Got the key right here. There we go. Get along now, laddie. Destroy that gun and no
Hang on.
dawdling.
Oh shit. Great start. Great fucking start.
There's a path up the cliff. Step lightly now.
Yeah. I definitely did that. For fuck's!
Get along now, laddie. Destroy that gun and no dawdling.
Oh, that's commentary note. Commentary note.
The area you're currently entering is called the Cliffside Arena. We were particularly happy with the vertical cliffside in Half-Life 1 and regretted that we didn't iterate further on that concept in Half-Life 2. Vertical space allows us to force the player to deal with threats from above and below. We find that players focus their view on the direction they're traveling, so by using a cliffside and having the player ascend it, we ensure that the player will look up and be prepared for enemies. If the player's path was to move past the bottom of the cliffside, it would be unlikely he would notice soldiers rappelling down from above. And dying from unknown threats never feels fair and certainly isn't fun. The area you're currently entering is called the Cliffside Arena. We were particularly happy with the vertical cliffside in Half-Life 1 and regretted that we didn't iterate further on that concept in Half-Life 2. Vertical space allows us to force the player to deal with threats from above and below. We find that players focus their view on the direction they're traveling, so by using a cliffside and having the player ascend it, we ensure that the player will look up and be prepared for enemies. If the player's path was to move past the bottom of the cliffside, it would be unlikely he would notice soldiers rappelling down from above. And dying from unknown threats never feels fair and certainly isn't fun.
I don't know why I'm doing this. yes, that sound plays every time you pin someone. Is there any more nodes? I want to learn more about Lost Coast. I don't give a fuck about these.
One of the features of our HDR solution is dynamic tone mapping. The easiest way to think about dynamic tone mapping is that it's a method of simulating the way the human eye reacts to light. In the real world, you've probably walked into a dark room and noticed your eye adjusting to the darkness, letting you see better after some time. Or you've walked out into a bright day and been blinded by the sun, only to have your eye adjust and allow you to see normally. Your iris is adjusting itself in response to the amount of light hitting your eye. Dynamic tone mapping simulates this by automatically adjusting the exposure of the scene to mimic the behavior of your iris. You can see this as the view moves from the dark tunnel to the bright sun and back again. Here, you can see the way we calculate the amount of light hitting the player's eyes. We take a snapshot of the scene, measure the brightness levels, and then use that to adjust exposure. We consider light at the center of the screen more important than at the edges to better simulate the geometry of the eye.
Right. Welcome to... That's why my game's lagging so much. It's not like a bad computer, by the way. I have a fucking 2080 and a 99. It's just the... HDR.
The courtyard in front of you is a space we call an arena. Arenas are built to hold the player for a period of time, and usually contain combat or some other challenge. They often have multiple entry points for enemies, along with a gate of some kind to prevent the player moving on, until the challenge has been completed. In this case, the arena is free of enemies until the player solves a puzzle and triggers an alarm. This is a method that allows the player to explore the arena and get a sense of its space before being forced to fight in it. It adds a sense of uneasiness to the player, who's expecting to be attacked now that they've reached the goal set for them at the start of the map. The break in the action here is also a crucial part of the level's pacing. It allows the player to recover and explore the world a little after being attacked on the way up the cliffside.
All of what they're saying is making sense.
The Source engine supports a wide variety of shaders. The refraction shader on the window here requires us to copy the scene to a texture, refract it, and then apply it to the window surface. To fully support HDR, every shader in the engine needed to be updated. So this refraction shader was improved to support the full range of contrast. If you viewed the sun through this window, it would be refracted correctly.
Right.
We wanted to transition from a bright, wide-open space into a tighter, closed one to showcase HDR's dynamic tone mapping. We also like to focus on contrasting elements in our settings, like ancient human architecture and futuristic combine technology. A monastery fit these requirements perfectly. Monasteries are generally isolated, unlit, and built ages ago. They provide a great backdrop for the contrasting combine technology. When we build fictional settings, we try to ground them by basing them off a real-world location. We use this location as a design constraint that forces a logical consistency behind the art choices.
Right.
Churches are great dramatic spaces. They're often lit naturally with extremes of darkness and brightness, which makes them a great showcase for HDR. Gothic churches are the sober monochromatic spaces that you've seen in almost every horror movie or game. Byzantine churches, on the other hand, are very colorful and have a large variety of materials. We wanted that color and material variety to show off our HDR reflections.
Right. Okay, I know what I was supposed to hold it in.
Our games are filled with things we call gates, which are essentially just challenges that the player must overcome to drive the experience forward. We used a puzzle here since the player has been through combat and exploration recently. When we design challenges, we try to ensure that the player's goal and the action required by the are both fun. It's not hard to create interesting goals for the player, like stopping this machine from shelling the nearby village, but the action required by the player to solve the challenge needs to be fun as well. So instead of something menial, such as hitting an off switch, the player gets to use physics to jam the gun's mechanism and cause it to break. Our games are filled with things we call gates, which are essentially just challenges that the player must overcome to drive the experience forward. We used a
300
puzzle
IQ.
here since the player has been through combat and exploration recently. When we design challenges, we try to ensure that the player's goal and the action required by the player are both fun. It's not hard to create interesting goals for the player, like stopping this machine from shelling the nearby village, but the action required by the player to solve the challenge needs to be fun as well. So instead of something menial, such as hitting an off switch, the player gets to use physics
300
to
IQ.
jam the gun's mechanism and cause it to break.
This marks the end of the Lost Coast tour. This has been an experiment on our part to see if our community would find it interesting to learn more about our development process. As always, we're interested in your feedback. I can be reached at gaben, G-A-B-E-N, at valvesoftware.com. If people like this, we'll keep producing this kind of content for all of our games going forward. Thanks for listening.
That's it. Whee! And that's the end. See you in the next world.